My wife cheated on me while I was fighting cancer, so I made sure she lost everything. When I was diagnosed with cancer, my wife promised she'd be by my side through it all. You don't have to go through this alone, she said, holding my hand. I believed her, but while I was fighting for my life in a hospital bed, she was sleeping with her coworker. I found out the worst possible way, and when I confronted her, she didn't even try to deny it. I didn't sign up for this, she said. That's when I made a decision. I wasn't just going to beat cancer, I was going to make sure she lost everything. Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. When I was diagnosed with cancer, my whole world stopped. I was terrified, not just for myself, but for my wife, Melissa. We had been married for 6 years. I thought we were a team. I thought she would be my rock through the worst battle of my life. And at first, she was. She held my hand at the doctor's office. She reassured me that we'd get through this together. I love you, she whispered one night. We're going to beat this. I believed her. But as the chemo drained the life out of me, something changed. She stopped visiting me at the hospital as much. She started staying late at work. Her phone was suddenly glued to her hand. I chalked it up to stress. I figured she was just overwhelmed. Then one night, I woke up alone in my hospital bed. I reached for my phone and texted her. Can't sleep. Miss you. No reply. An hour passed, then 2. Finally, I got a text back. Sorry, I fell asleep early. Love you? But something felt off. Because 2 minutes later, I saw something that made my stomach drop. She had just opened my message. She had lied. And that's when I knew something was wrong, and I was about to find out just how deep the betrayal went. That text haunted me. Sorry, I fell asleep early. Love you. But I had seen the red receipt pop up 2 minutes after she sent it. She wasn't sleeping. She was lying. And once that seed of doubt was planted, I couldn't ignore it. I told myself I was being paranoid, that the stress, the chemo, the exhaustion, it was all making me see things that weren't there. But deep down, I knew better. So the next time she came to visit me at the hospital, I tested her. Hey, what did you do last night? I asked casually. She didn't even hesitate. Oh, just stayed home, watched some Netflix, then passed out early, she said, flipping through her phone. I nodded slowly. What were you watching? She blinked. A little hesitation, a tiny misstep. The Office? Wrong answer. She hated The Office. And now? Now I knew she was lying to my face, but I didn't call her out, not yet, because I needed proof, and I was about to get it in the worst way possible. After that visit, I couldn't shake the feeling. Melissa was lying to me. I knew it, but I didn't just want to confront her without proof, because if she denied it, if she gaslit me into thinking I was crazy, I'd never get the real truth. So I did something I never thought I'd have to do. I asked for help. My best friend Adam had been checking in on me throughout my treatment. He had been more present than my own wife. So one night, I told him everything. The late nights, the excuses, the lies. And when I was done, he didn't hesitate. Say less, I'll find out. That's what I loved about Adam. No questions, no doubt, just loyalty. That weekend, while I was stuck in my hospital bed, Adam followed Melissa. And what he found? It broke me. She wasn't working late. She wasn't going home early. She was at his place, her coworker, the guy I had met at company parties, the guy she had always brushed off as just a friend, the guy she was sleeping with while I was fighting for my life. And the worst part, she didn't even try to hide it. Adam sent me a picture. There she was, laughing, drunk, sitting in that man's lap like she had never made vows to be with me in sickness and in health. Like I wasn't in a hospital bed, alone. I felt like I was going to be sick. But after the shock wore off, something else took its place, rage. Because Melissa thought she could betray me and walk away untouched. She thought I was too weak, too sick to do anything about it. But she was about to learn the hard way. I might have been fighting cancer, but I still had enough fight left in me to ruin her life. I stared at that picture for a long time. Melissa, sitting in his lap, looking happier than she had in months, laughing, comfortable, like She hadn't just abandoned me while I was fighting for my life. Like I was already dead to her. I should have felt pain, should have felt heartbreak, but the only thing I felt is cold, calculated rage. Melissa had made a choice, and now I was going to make sure she paid for it. I called Adam. "I need more," I said, voice steady. "More?" he asked, hesitating. "Dude, I already got the proof. What else do you need?" "Everything." I didn't just want one picture. I wanted timestamps, locations, messages. I wanted every single detail. If I was going to take her down, I needed to be smart. Adam sighed. "All right, man, give me a couple of days." A few days later, Adam came back with more than I expected. Not only had Melissa been seeing her coworker behind my back, she had been using my money to fund their little dates. My credit card was covering their fancy dinners. My Netflix account was logged in on his TV. My car, yeah, the one I had worked my ass off to buy, she had been letting him drive it. I wasn't just being cheated on, I was being used. And that's when I realized Melissa didn't just see me as her husband. She saw me as a convenience. I was the steady, responsible guy who took care of the bills, who made sure things were in order, the guy she could fall back on when things got rough. And when I got sick, I wasn't useful anymore. So she went looking for something more exciting. But now I was going to make her regret everything. I started small. I let her think everything was fine. I still texted her goodnight, still told her I loved her, still let her come to the hospital and pretend to be the supportive wife. And every time she left, I watched her lie right to my face. "I'm going straight home after this," she'd say, giving me a soft smile. "Get some rest, okay?" And then, not 10 minutes later, she'd be texting him. "Leaving now, see you soon." I played along. I let her dig herself deeper, because the longer she thought I was clueless, the harder the fall was going to be. Then, I made my move. Melissa had no idea how much was in our shared bank account. She had never been the one handling finances. That had always been me. So one night, while she was with him, I drained it, every last dollar. I closed the account and moved the money to a private one in my name only. Then, I cut off her access to my credit cards. No more fancy dates on my dime. No more gas money to drive around with her new man. No more using me while she played house with someone else. And the best part, she wouldn't find out until it was too late. The next morning, Melissa came to visit me. She kissed my forehead like nothing was wrong. "How are you feeling today, babe?" I smiled weakly, played the part. "A little better. Thanks for being here." She squeezed my hand. "Always, baby." And right then, I knew. I knew this woman was a liar through and through. She wasn't here because she cared. She was here because she still needed me. And when she found out what I had done, she was going to lose it, and I was going to enjoy every second. Melissa had no idea what was coming. She thought she had everything under control, thought I was too weak, too sick to do anything about what she was doing. So, when she kissed me goodbye that morning, acting like the perfect wife, I just smiled and waited for the moment her world would crash down. And later that evening, it finally happened. I was lying in my hospital bed when my phone started blowing up with calls and texts from Melissa. I didn't answer. I just sat back and watched the messages roll in. Melissa: "Babe, something's wrong with the bank. I tried to use my card and it got declined." Melissa: "I thought maybe it was just fraud protection, but then I checked online and where's all the money?" Then, 5 minutes later, Melissa: "What the feet, did you do something?" That's when I finally texted back, me: "I don't know, Melissa. Maybe ask your boyfriend to cover your bills now." Delivered, read. And then she called immediately. I let it ring, then ring again. Then, just to twist the knife a little more, I finally picked up. "What do you want, Melissa?" I asked, voice calm. She was breathing hard, panicked. "You took all the money? Are you serious right now? How could you do this to me?" I laughed. "Do this to you? You mean like how you've been screwing around behind my back while I was literally fighting for my life?" She stammered. "It's not like that, I was just—" "Save it," I cut her off. "I already know everything. I know about him. I know what you've been doing. And I know you've been using my money to fund it." Silence. Then she went straight to damage control. "Okay, listen, I made a mistake, all right?" I was stressed. I was scared. I rolled my eyes. "Cut the bulls, Espan Melissa. You weren't scared. You were just selfish." And now you get to see what life is like without me cleaning up your messes." Her voice cracked. "But what am I supposed to do? I have bills, I have—" "Not my problem." I let that sink in before I added, "Oh, and by the way, your phone is on my plan too. Consider this your last call. Bye, Melissa." Then I hung up, and the next thing I did, I removed her from my phone plan, changed every password she had access to, and blocked her on everything, because now she was on her own. And after everything she had done to me, she deserved every single second of it. The next morning, I woke up to a long, desperate email from Melissa. Since I had cut off her phone plan, she had no other way to reach me. I took my time reading it, enjoying every last pathetic word. "I know you're mad. I know I messed up. But please, can we talk? I never meant to hurt you. I was just scared, and I made a mistake. You don't have to do this. We can fix things." Fix things? There was nothing left to fix. Melissa wasn't sorry for what she had done. She was sorry she got caught. Sorry that she'd lost access to my money. Sorry that she had burned the only bridge she had left. And now she was panicking. I closed the email without replying. I didn't need to say anything, because I wasn't done yet. Cutting her off financially was just the first step. Now it was time to make sure she felt the full weight of her choices. Melissa and I were still legally married, which meant I had a say in how this ended, so I called my lawyer. "I want a divorce," I said, "and I want to make sure she gets nothing." My lawyer didn't even hesitate. "With everything you've told me, she won't get a dime." And that's exactly what happened. A few weeks later, Melissa was served divorce papers. She tried to fight it at first, tried to get some kind of financial settlement. But since I had all the evidence of her cheating, texts, pictures, phone records, her case was worthless. She walked away with nothing. No money, no house, no support. Just the life she had chosen. One where I wasn't in it. And me? I walked away free. Cancer didn't beat me. She didn't beat me. And now? I was ready to start a new life. One where I didn't have to carry someone who never deserved me. After Melissa was served the divorce papers, she tried everything to get me to reconsider. She sent emails. She had mutual friends reach out. She even showed up at the hospital one last time, pretending to be concerned. I was sitting in bed, getting one of my final rounds of treatment, when she walked in. She looked different. No more fake confidence. No more acting like she had everything under control. She looked defeated. "Hey," she said softly, like nothing had happened. I didn't answer, just stared at her. She sighed and sat down in the chair next to my bed. I wanted to talk, one last time." Still, I said nothing. She shifted uncomfortably. "I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you, and I hate myself for it." I raised an eyebrow. "Do you?" She swallowed hard. "Yes, I do. I don't even know why I did it. I was scared. I was lonely." I cut her off. "You weren't lonely, Melissa. You were selfish." She flinched like I had hit her. I wish I could take it all back." I finally leaned forward. "You don't wish you could take it back. You wish you hadn't lost everything." She didn't argue, because she knew I was right. Melissa wasn't sorry for cheating. She was sorry she had thrown away the best thing she ever had. And now she had nothing. She sniffled. "Are you really not going to give me another chance?" I just stared at her for a long moment. Then, finally, I said, "Melissa, you left me when I was at my weakest. Now I'm strong again, and I don't need you." Her lips parted like she was about to argue, but she didn't, because she finally understood. She had lost me for good. I turned my head toward the window. "You can go now." She sat there for a second longer. Then finally she stood up, wiped her eyes, and walked out of my life. Forever. After Melissa walked out of that hospital room, I didn't think about her again. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with it. But me, I had a second chance at life, a second chance at love, a second chance to build something for myself without someone who only saw me as a convenience. The divorce was finalized a few months later. Melissa walked away with nothing. No money, no support, no easy backup plan. She tried to reach out one last time, another email. "I know you probably don't care, but I just wanted to say, I'm sorry again. I was stupid and I ruined the best thing I ever had. I hope one day you can forgive me. I read it once, then I deleted it. Because Melissa, she was just a chapter in my life, and I had already moved on. Some betrayals you never come back from. Melissa thought she could abandon me when I was weak, and that I'd still be there when she realized her mistake. But in the end, I was the one who left her behind. Now, let me ask you, have you ever had someone betray you at your lowest point? How did you handle it? Drop your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.